Hello, and welcome to this live stream quiz. It's been a while since I've done one on this channel. When numbers were a lot smaller, now they've grown that. So getting there. Sorry, I decided to do another one for the end of the year. Hopefully everything's okay, sounds and that is. At the moment I don't see anyone in on this tonight. But I'll still go ahead because it can be found on public, especially when it edits down. Make sure to take out unnecessary sounds and that. Hopefully, I've divided the rounds up. There's one Christmas music, just after Christmas and before New Year's, so why not? They have around and travel, the London rounds, which are starting from the first area, so I decided to transport those questions over here. Second transport round, because of the user quiz, and then it's kind of general knowledge, be a mix of questions and that going on. So just actually, sorry, just give me a sec. I'm going to send a message out. Yeah, sorry, that's actually, sorry, I'm just going to create this one. Yeah, so that's one. So I'm just setting up two people. See if we can get their notes. And okay, so I'll see if that attracts any people in. Try my phone there actually. So might be a slight delay, but hopefully you'll get on. So let's start the quiz. I think that's enough. A bit of dizzying dazzing. So, question one for round one. What is the fourth line of the second verse of this carol? So I just get the music since there's a that should be enough music. Then, if you know the music, then you should be able to start saying it in your head. So, what is the fourth line of the second verse of this carol? So, that music was connected to the carol that I'm talking about. Okay, time for question two. So I just done a 2 second countdown. Actually, I didn't hear that. Okay, sorry. I think I have to press the button. Stop it. Now. So question two, name this Christmas song. Or name the Christmas song as put down. Choose now. question of the song to help you get the name. Also, try my best to get music that did sound like song should be. Also, just one question if anyone's joined, don't put the answers in the chat, write it down somewhere. Even if you even if you come in, even if it's on Microsoft Word and your personal computer. Okay, so that's it. I have to see afterwards if that's going to come true. Okay. So question 3. What language was Silent Night first written? And just play a bit of the song. So do the countdown. Okay, that's a bit off, I know, but try my best. Well, I wasn't because I gave the name. I wasn't too worried about that going in. So, question 4: what year was this carol written in the form of a poem? I think that's enough. So I'll put on 2 second countdown. Might have had that before on the string deck. I'm not sure I'm into the spell by now this time. So that was, what year was this carol written in the form of a poem? So that's best again. Question 5. Which carol is thought to have been written by Martin Luther? And I don't have any music to play because I should do it with music in. No, I meant to have to. That just thought it was a bit too easy if I gave you music on that. So that's the only one that I don't have music for. Let's start the countdown on the string deck for this. I know maybe that might not gain viewers live on the stream, that, but I just took my chances trying it anyway. See what happens. Hopefully, anyone coming back will maybe jump in to watch the video after, or stream after, and maybe try the quiz after. Right. Okay, so that's the first round over. I'll just recap the questions. Question 1. What is the fourth line of the second verse of this cow? I'll just quickly play the tune again. So, what is the fourth line of the second verse of this cow? Yeah, I think that's enough on the recap. Second question. Name this Christmas song. Okay, I hope that's enough of the recap. Question 3 was, what language was Syne's verse written in? So it's not playing that. Just basically one language. Question 4, what year was this cow written in the form of a poem? Definitely have to play that. And which cow is question 5 was, which cow is thought to have been written by Martin Luther? So that's the end of the first round. Just going to play cow before we start the second round. Just for election to go break between hands. Okay, welcome back. We're now ready for round two. That's slightly different. That was, let me just make a blue card wolf. God's rest you now, gentlemen. Slightly different than the tune probably most of us know. But I wasn't tune when it's in between wasn't next person. So round two is now travel. And we're on question six. So basically the question numbers will continue up two rounds. Basically the first five turn around on the next five, saying 6 to 10 be in round two. So question six. If you are travelling on the Enterprise train service between Dublin and Belfast, what station? So just tripping myself up on this observation. So if you're travelling on the Enterprise train service between Dublin and Belfast, what station furthest north? What is the furthest north station you can travel to with your ticket? So if you're travelling on the Enterprise train service between Dublin and Belfast, what which station is the furthest north that you can travel to with your ticket? Your Enterprise ticket. And so I've got to put on the countdown. Just give you 2 seconds to give you a bit of thinking time and that. Just read question six one more time. If you are travelling on the Enterprise train service between Dublin and Belfast, what station is the furthest north that you can travel to with your ticket? That's the way I always stand actually. Okay, at least got 2 years on constant. Oh, sorry, because I can't hear the bell, it's a bit annoying. So, question seven. Which three stations in Zone 1 of the London Underground share the name with three fictional title characters from movies, books, and a television program? So, which three stations in Zone 1 of the London Underground share their name with three fictional title characters from movies, books, and television programs? Basically, the title characters from the movies are also title characters from books. So, basically, the movies are based on books. Okay, so these are spoilers. Um, question 8. Between Friday 25th of June 2021 and Sunday the 18th of July 2021, Stena Line introduced a temporary new route between Britain and Ireland from two of the ports they sell ships from. What are the two ports that the route operates between? So basically, Stena Line introduced a temporary new route between like two of the ports that they operate. I read it in full. Between 25th of June, between Friday 25th of June 2021 and Sunday the 18th of July 2021, Stena Line introduced a temporary new route between Britain and Ireland from two of the ports the ships sail from. What are the two ports that the route operates between? Also, I should stress it's not Belfast to Caroline. It's not Belfast to Liverpool or Birkenhead. It's well, actually Liverpool on operates. It's not Dublin to Highhead, and it's not Westleigh to Fishguard, since they're routes that are, were started before the States and continue on after those states. Oh, the bell's going. That's question 8. So question 9. In 2021, a total of 5 new stations opened in Britain and Ireland. Can you name all 5? So question 9. In 2021, a total of 5 new stations opened in Britain and Ireland. Can you name all 5? And you basically get a point for each one that you can name. So if you can get all 5, that's 5 points. If you just name one, that's 1 point. So it's basically last year, or at least like before last New Year's. Yes. So that's the bell going. You can see it flashing on the next screen here. Question 10. Another question about Sternline. Sternline introduced 3 new E-flexive phrases on 2 of their Irish Sea routes. Oh, hang on, being a picture there. So start question 10 again. Sternline introduced 3 new E-flexive phrases on 2 of their Irish Sea routes. Which of these new ferries was the first to be built and has the maiden voyage? So the names of the ships are on your screen there. Got the Adia, Estrad, or Amber, I think. Sorry, probably pronounced those names a bit wrong. And there's a bonus question here for another 3 points. What was the day, month, and year that the ship did its maiden voyage on? So if you get points if you get the correct day, you get another point if you get the correct month, and another point for the correct year. So that question that's an extra 3 bonus points to have the point for getting the name of the ship, right? And again, just do the 2-second countdown. So question 10 was Sternline introduced 3 new E-flexive ferries, whose names are in the screen at the moment, on the 2 of their Irish Sea routes. Which of these new ferries was the first to be built and has the maiden voyage? What was the bonus question is what was the day, month, and year that that ship did its maiden voyage? And once again, that's the end of the middle round. And once again, I just throw in some music. Just give a little break between rounds before we get to the next set of questions. Okay, let's welcome back. Ready for round 3, which is the London round. London round. Sorry. So question 11. Where is City Gen Power Station located in England? So question 11 again. Where is City Gen Power Station located in England? There should be an obvious bit there. I'm really sure if we change that question a little bit. There's actually 2 points going on that. If you can be very precise, is the answer. If you give the precise location. So, question 12. At which tourist attraction would you find Traitor's Gate? So, question 12. At which tourist attraction would you find Traitor's Gate? And of course, it's obvious that's going to be a London attraction, tourist attraction. Okay, question 13. What building in London was built on Tawny Island? Just spell that in case I'm mispronouncing this bit. Thorney. And then the word island. So, what building in London was built on Tawny Island? Also, I'm using countdown to try and balance out a little bit. Time to give you for thinking that on the questions, but not too much time that you crazy look up. Also, if you are looking down, you're kind of cheating yourself. So, question 14. Can you name the last river in London that one of the London Underground lines was going to be named after? Question 14. Can you name the last river in London that one of the London Underground lines was going to be named after? But instead it was given a different name. So if you look on a cheat map, you don't see the name those of the last river on the cheat map. Right. Okay, so question 15, last question for this round. At what London landmark in central London does the A5 road start at? So question 15, at what London landmark in central London does the A5 road start at? Actually, I wrote that as at what landmark in central London does the A5 road start at? It's kept adding in the London landmark. Right. Okay, why did my stream just separate a little bit there on my screen? Not sure. Hopefully everything's coming out okay. Also might have to record this as a video just to have it on the channel for a bit longer. Okay, so staying from the round, let's play a bit more music before we start round 4. Round 4, the second transport round. So question 16. What is the lowest bus route number in London that does not start or finish or go through the centre of London? Basically, someone. So what is the lowest bus route number in London that does not start or finish or go through the centre of London? Basically, on the London Underground map, that'd be someone. Oh, on the bus route map, actually, be someone as well. Okay, question 17. Where is the only two places in Britain where they has a tram line that has been in continuous operation for over 100 years, only being closed for repair works or because of an accident or for modernisation? So where is the only two places in Britain where they have had a tram line that has been in continuous operation for over 100 years, only being closed for repair works or because of an accident or for modernisation? And basically get a point for each of, if you can get two places, so that's maximum 2 points for that question. So question 18. What was the first railway line in London to be automatically controlled apart from the opening and closing of the doors at stations? So what was the first railway line in London to be automatically controlled apart from the opening and closing of doors at the stations? So I'm just looking at the answer for that actually. Not going to use those. Oh yeah, actually. Okay, so that's the round gone. So question 19. Which train station in Dublin was originally called Dublin Station? So which train station in Dublin was originally called Dublin Station? So that might be a bit tricky one, unless you're up on your Irish Rail history. So question 20. What did Transport for London and London Transport Museum do to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the opening of the first Underground line? So question 20. What did Transport for London and the London Transport Museum do to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the opening of the first Underground line? And this happened back in 2013. That's when the celebrations was. Actually, just coming to think about it, next month is going to be the 160th anniversary of the opening of the first Underground line. Well, that's that 10 years gone since the 150th anniversary celebrations. Okay, so before we go on to the next round, I'm just going to play a bit of music here. Okay, so I'm ready for round five. Just hope I haven't lost a few of this music in between. But because it's new, isn't it? Decided to try it. So this going to take. So round five is marks as general knowledge because it's got different sort of questions mixed up. It's now to category. So question 21. Which actor from the TV series Dad's Army appears in the 2016 film Dad's Army? So which actor from the TV series Dad's Army appears in the 2016 film Dad's Army? Okay, question 22. What does the five movies have in common? Grease, Pulp Fiction, Get Shorty, and Hairspray. So what do those films have in common? What does the five movies have in common? Grease, Pulp Fiction, Get Shorty, and Hairspray. That's question 22. Hope you've, I hope you're writing that down. I'm not losing track. Okay, question 23. As part of the Bus Connects program in Dublin, they have introduced spine routes on the bus routes that run along the same corridor. Which of the spine routes was the first to start as part of phase one of the Bus Connects program? So basically, you have your choice between letters A to H. Basically, there's the A spine, and then you have up to the B, C, D, E, F, G, and H spine. Of course, some of them have not been introduced quite yet. And so that's your choice. It's basically a letter between A and H is your choice. So question 23. As part of the Bus Connects program in Dublin, they have introduced spine routes on the bus routes that run along the same corridor. Which of the spine routes was the first to start as part of phase one of the Bus Connects program? Also, just a little thing, piece of information. Basically, all the bus routes that make up the spine route, which is basically a frequent service along a certain corridor, all begin with the letter of that spine route. So if it's the C spine, it'd be C1, C2, C3, C4, and whatever C buses they have in that. So, question 24. When the Docklands Light Railway first started in 1987, it had something in common with the Lures in Dublin. What was the thing that it has in common with the Lures? So that's a bit tricky, also, especially need to be of a certain age to remember. When the Docklands Light Railway first started in 1987, it had something in common with the Lures in Dublin. What was the thing it has in common with the Lures? Also, it might not be as obvious if you're looking at an underground map. That if you find an old Docklands Light Railway map, then you might see the thing a bit more. So, question 25. What item that is part of Christmas tradition for people living in Britain and Ireland was invented by London based confectionery and baker Tom Smith. So question 25. What item that is part of Christmas tradition for people living in Britain and Ireland was invented by London-based confectioner and baker Tom Smith? Okay, so that's the last question. I'm just going to do a quick recap. Also, I'm going to have to play some music in the first round. So I'll get control so I can access this. So round one was a Christmas music round. So question one, what is the fourth line of the second verse of this carol? And here comes the music. Okay, I think that's enough replay. Question two was name this Christmas song. Okay, that's enough for that. Question three, what language should Syne write first wish in? Just don't need to replay that. And then question four, what year was this carol written in the form of a poem? Okay, I think that's enough. That one. Question five. Which carol is thought to have been written by Martin Luther? So that's the first five questions. So I'm just going to switch into the view here. So round two was travel. Question six. If you are traveling on the Enterprise train service between Dublin and Belfast, what station is the furthest north that you can travel to with your ticket? Question seven was, which three stations in Zone 1 of the London Underground share their name with three fictional title characters from movies, books, and a television program? Question 8. Between Friday the 25th of June 2021 and Sunday the 18th of July 2021, Line introduced a temporary new route between Britain and Ireland from two of the ports the ships sail from. What are the two ports that route operated between? Question 9 was, in 2021, a total of 5 new stations opened in Britain and Ireland. Can you name all 5? Question 10 was, Line introduced 3 new which are just being up names here. 3 new E-fletted ferries on 2 of their Irish sea routes. Which of these new ferries was the first to be built and has their maiden voyage? Also, the bonus question on that is what was the day, month, and year that the ship did its maiden voyage? Just trail over it before we go back to the screen. Hopefully, you had enough time with names. So, round 3 was the London round. Question 11 was where is City Gen Power Station located in England? Question 12. At which tourist attraction would you find Traitors Gate? Question 13 was what building in London was built on Tawny Island? That's spelled Thorney. Question 14. Can you name the last river in London that one of the underground lines was going to be named after? Question 15. At what landmark in central London does the A5 road start at? So that's round 3. Round 4 was the transport round. So question 16. What is the lowest bus route number in London that does not start or finish or go through the centre of London, i.e. Zone 1? Question 17. Where is the only 2 places in Britain where they have had a tram line that has been in continuous operation for over 100 years, only being closed for repair works or because of an accident or for modernisation? Question 18. What was the first railway line in London to be automatically controlled, apart from the opening and closing of the doors at stations? So basically, what I mean by automatic is that in between stations, the train was running self accelerating and braking, whereas the driver using a handle. Question 19. Which train station in Dublin was originally called Dublin Station? And then question 20. What did Transport for London and London Transport Museum do to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the opening of the first underground line? So it's basic collaboration between Transport for London and London Transport Museum on like what was done for the 150th anniversary. That's question 20. And that brings us to round 5, general knowledge. Basically, because there's no fixed category of questions from different categories. So, question 21. Which actor from the TV series Dad's Army appears in the 2016 film Dad's Army? Question 22. What does the following movies have in common? Grease, Pulp Fiction, Get Shorty, and Hairspray. So what's the team that links them? Question 23. As part of the Bus Connects program in Dublin, they have introduced spine routes on the bus routes that run along the same corridor. Which of the spine routes was the first to start as part of phase 1 of the Bus Connects program? And as I said, your choices is between the letter A to H. So that should narrow it down a little bit for you. If you're not living in Devon, if you're outside somewhere taking part in the quiz, this gives you a bit of guessing. Question 24. When the Docklands Light Railway first started in 1987, it had something in common with the Lewis in Dublin. What was the thing it had in common with Lewis? And the final question, 25. What item that is part of Christmas tradition for people living in Britain and was invented by London-based confectioner and baker Tom Smith? Okay, just in case there's anyone on the live stream at the moment, please, if you like, so reread the questions before giving the answer. To type your answer into chat, I'm just going to read the questions, so it gives you a bit of time to see what people have put down before I give the correct answer. So, question one: what is the fourth line of the second verse of this carol? And just going to put the music back on. As you probably, if you're not sure of the music, it's Joy to the World, is the carol. And the answer, which I've seen on this here, is repeat the sounding joy is the answer. That's what the fourth line of the second verse of the carol is. Of course, that's repeated again. So it's repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. I think, no, actually, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. Yeah, so basically it's repeat the sounding joy, it's the correct answer. So next carol, so I named the Christmas song, just put on the music so you can hear it. Basically, that is I saw three ships come sailing. Oh, I saw three ships is the full title there. But if you put come sailing by, it's acceptable. It's just the next bit of line in this song. So what language was Silent Night first written in? Um, the correct answer to that is actually German. And what year was this carol written in the form of a poem? So just bring up that music. So that was Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and the year it was first written in the form of a poem was 1739, and it was written by Charles Wesley. In 19, sorry, it's not my, just a little fact here. In 1753, George Whitefield turned the poem into a carol we sing today. Well, basically, he changed it to music. Also changed the words a little bit. So that's the poem itself was slightly different wording when Charles Wesley wrote it. So question 5. Which carol is thought to have been written by Martin Luther? Basically that is Way in a Manger. It's the correct answer there. But there was evidence like by a hymn story in that to suggest there's no actual evidence of Martin Luther ever writing it. Well, that's all I mentioned in stories, isn't it? They think it's just American carol and that. So, question 6 in round 2. If you are travelling on the Enterprise train service between Dublin and Belfast, what station is the furthest north that you can travel to with your ticket? Um, if you've written Belfast Central you're actually wrong. It's not Belfast Central Line Place. Well, if you've written that, you're still wrong. You can actually get tree transfer if you buy a ticket to Belfast between Belfast Line Place, as the new name is, Foreign Central, to Titanic Quarter Station. So the correct answer is Titanic Quarter Station. It's the furthest north you can travel. It's actually a bit more north of Belfast Line Place and a bit more to the east as well. You can also get free travel on any Metrobus, Bus 500, and Guide G1 to service the city centre for free as well. So, next question is question that which three stations in Zone 1 of the London Underground share their name with three fictional title characters from movies, books, and a television program? So the first station is Paddington, because of the movie and book Paddington Bear by Michael Bond. Actually, which is actually brings me to the next station. The second station is Bond Street, which is well connected to the author Michael Bond, but also this the title from the films James Bond. So that's where that shares, and also James Bond from style of books, at least by Ian Fleming before they turned into films. And the third station is I remember the spin-off TV program of from Buffy the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which was called the character in that was called Angel. That has its own spin-off TV show. So the last station is actually just Angel, which is on the Northern Line. Also, so if you got any of those stations, you get a point for each one. So if you got three, you get 3 points. So between the Friday the 25th of June 2021 and Sunday the 18th of July 2021, Syne Line introduced a temporary new route between Ireland, between Ireland and Britain, or Britain and Ireland, suppose, from two of the ports the ships sail from. What are the two ports that the route operated between? And the correct answer to that is Belfast to Holyhead. Oh, if you have Holyhead to Belfast, it's not it. Which way you put it around, it's correct. It was actually for 4 weeks. Apparently, the Liverpool um, to Belfast and Caroline to Belfast routes were quite busy, and there was lack of people using because of lockdowns with COVID and that. There's a lot of less people using the Holyhead to Dublin route, and so they tried it for 4 weeks. To see, actually, if you ever come across the channel, Let's Make a Trip, I think it's called, or something like that. Basically, he managed to get on that route and actually do the trip. One of the 4 ticks. Also, Swan, well, at least there's been a few trying the new ship on that. So, question 9, let's give you the answer to that. In 2021, a total of 5 new stations opened in Britain and Ireland. Can you name all 5? So that's like basically one of those stations was in Ireland, and then the other 4 were in Britain. So stations are as follows: Bow Street, which is located in South Wales, I think, somewhere around the Valley lines. Soham, which is in England, somewhere some of the lines going to Peterborough. Don't know if it's on from King's Cross or if it's could be from Cambridge. That so that's number 2. Then you have Nine Elms and Battersea Power Station on the Northern Line of the London Underground extension. And the last station is Pellet's town in just on the Minute to Dublin line on the M3 Parkway to Dublin line between Boombridge and Ashford. That's the one that opened in Dublin, and it actually opened on Sunday after the Northern Line extension. Just for an interesting thing. So if you manage to get all those stations, you get a point for each one. So that's total 5 points. Okay, so next was the ship. Speaking of the names, Line introduced three new E-flexor ferries on two of their Irish Sea routes. Which of these new ferries was the first to be built and has the amazing voyage? So that's the Estrid, that spells Estrid, basically the one in the middle. I'll mix it up a little bit on the names. And for the bonus, that's 1 point if you got Estrid right. Now for the bonus points, what was the day, month, and year that the ship did its maiden voyage on? And basically, that's the 13th of January 2020. So if you've got the 13th, that's 1 point. If you've got January, got another point. And 2020, yes, like 3 extra points. Don't worry if you might put the wrong day on it. Like if you said, or if you got the correct month in years to get like 2 points, or if you got the correct year, you got at least 1 point, or even the correct month. So once you get any part of that, you get a point. And I managed to sail on that ship on the first week of its. We're in the first week of its voyage, being off on the Dublin to Hayes route. Sorry about anyone in Belfast that might have put one of the Belfast ships thinking that they got in before, but unfortunately it's the Dublin to Hayes that made it. Okay, so next questions. Oh yeah, actually throw these out. So this is the land around. Where is City Den Power Station located in England? Of course, because I caught the London around. If you said London, well, at least you get a point. But to be more specific, it's under Smithfield in London. So if you manage to put that, like I said, under Smithfield in London, you get 2 points. Actually, if you just put under Smithfield because it's London around, I'd still give you the 2 points, being that precise. So the next question was question 12. At which tourist attraction would you find Traitor's Gate? And that's actually the Tower of London. And if you've never heard of the Tower of London, I think you should hold your head down, Shane. Because I think everyone's heard of it. I'm pretty sure everyone's probably heard of Traitor Gate being associated with it. Okay, so question 13. What building in London was built on Thorney Island? And the correct answer to that is the Palace of Westminster, which is basically where you have the House of Commons and the House of Lords. In fact, it was originally a palace because one of the kings did live there for a while before they moved to Buckingham Palace, and there was actually a fire in it. So the Palace of Westminster is the correct answer to question 13. So can you name the last river in London that one of the underground lines was going to be named after? And that's actually the River Fleet. The line that was going to be named after that was renamed to the Jubilee line. Of course, didn't have to answer bonus question. So it's no point. The River Fleet is the correct answer there. And at what landmark central London does the A5 road start at? The correct answer there is Marble Arch. Of course, that's the reason I chose the A5 is because it also goes to head. So, of half it was renamed different number that along the way, but like the whole road was wishing at one time A5. Okay, so going to round 4, transport round. Question 16. What is the lowest bus route number in London that does not start or finish a road through the centre of London, basically Zone 1? That's bus route number 5, which starts at Canning Town and goes to Romford Market, basically going northward outside. Canning Town's at least zone maybe 3, 2 maybe. Okay, so if you put 5, you got the correct answer. And here's the number, it's 1. Question 17. Where's the only 2 places in Britain where they has a tram line that has been in continuous operation for over 100 years, only been closed for repair works or because of an accident or for modernisation? Basically, the first one is the Great Elm Tram in Clangerton. Especially, you have to go through the town to get to it. So that's, if you put down Clangerton, then you correct it that way. Or if you be more precise with Great Elm Tram, then you need to get a point. And the other place is actually Blackpool. So if you manage to name both places, you get 2 points. So question 18, what was the first railway in London to be automatically controlled, apart from the opening and closing of doors at stations? And that's actually the Victoria line. You might not realise, to be honest, that the trains are actually automatic. So question 19. Which train station in Dublin was originally called Dublin Station? And the correct answer there is actually Collins Station. But it's actually just platforms 1 to 4 was originally called Dublin Station. Platforms 5, 6 and 7 were actually a separate station, part of the loop line called Amy Street Junction originally, before they joined together and became part of Connie. So question 20. What does Transport for London and London Transport Museum do to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the opening of the first underground line? They basically ran a steam train trip. Basically, they done steam train, ran steam train trips over the line. So that's 1 point if you get that. Also, there's actually a little bit of bonus there. If you say between Moorgate and Kensington Olympia, you get an extra point for each of those 2 stations if you gave the precise location. Alright. So there's an maximum 3 points there. Didn't really say the stations, so might not know maybe mistake to put it down. But if you basically anyway mentions those 2 stations, even accidentally, you still get the points. So question 21. Which actor from the TV series Darts Army appeared in the 2016 film Darts Army? Basically, it's a new film that I made. There was only one actor from the TV series that appears in it, and that's Ian Lavender, who usually plays Pike in the TV series. Basically, also plays different characters. Wasn't one of the main title characters. I think it was maybe the Warden in the film. So that's the correct answer there for question 21. Question 22. What does the following movies have in common? Grease, Pulp Fiction, Get Shorty, and Hairspray. And the correct answer there is they all starred John Travolta. Was basically acting in all of those. So I just need to bring up the previous question sheet. For question 23, as part of the Bus Connects program in Dublin, they've introduced spine routes on the bus routes that run along the same corridor. Which of the spine routes was the first to start as part of phase one of the Bus Connects program? So to say the spine routes is A to H was your choices. But what I didn't say is there's actually only three of them have already started. And the first of those was actually route, spine route H. So, and basically that has three, well, originally started with four buses. One was the peak time, but it has the bus routes H1, H2, and H3 going along this main spine before splitting. And that. The second one was the C spine, just for my interest, and the G spine is the last one introduced. So we're still waiting for the usual ones to be introduced in the next phases, hopefully next year. So next question. When the Dolphins Flyway first started in 1987, it had something in common with the Lewis in Dublin. What was the thing it had in common with the Lewis? Basically, originally the two routes of the Docklands Library, from Stratford to Iron Gardens and from Tower Gateway to Iron Gardens, were known as the Green and Red route. Basically, I think on the destination board, I seen a photograph where it had like red route on one, and then obviously just had the green on it. Also, when the Backton extension opened, that was had the blue route, but at some point after that, they dropped those, especially on the maps. If you've seen the map, you were seeing like the green line and the red line kind of separated. Actually, I don't know why they dropped the colours. It would be handy for the maps actually. Nowadays, with so big, if they reintroduce like colours for the different routes, so people know that like this line goes along this way. Most splits on it. Help them to get to the correct end destination, especially if docking map on. Uh, so that's question 24. Last question: which item that is part of Christmas tradition for people living in Britain or Ireland was invented by London-based confectioner and baker Tom Smith? So the answer to that was the Christmas cracker. And like you, here's basically responsible for that. And also, I don't know if he's responsible for the tell jokes that he gave and that. But he's definitely not responsible for being junky in it. I think he originally has chocolates in his Christmas packet. And that, because he's confectionery like you, made chocolates and that. So that's the end of the quiz. Basically, I don't know if the same one watching live, so asking them to put into the chat is probably not good. But if you're doing this quiz a bit later, especially after I've done it, edit so make sure everything's okay and took out any gaps, let's say. Why don't you put your score in the comments below so that I can look back and see how you done and see if you got to the ends in it. Especially I know it's a bit long, but then again it's New Year's. Hopefully I didn't stretch out too long with the music in between to my people. So I think that's basically for me. It's good night and happy new year for this live stream. So just try and get the music in there.